Here we are. So, a lot of things to cover. A lot of things. Where to begin? So, we're doing the stream early. I put out a notice of this earlier in the day that we're going to be streaming early today. So that's what we're doing. I got cobwebs everywhere and Frank hair everywhere, even on the camera, because it's been nothing. As you can tell by the background, the only poster that's left up is the Mass Effect poster. So everything else is gone. There's blue dots here and there that I got to clean off the wall from previous ones, but here we are. This will be the last stream here, and then I'm not in this area anymore. This is the last time we're here. Feels weird. There's no bookshelf or anything. It's just empty. Wow, it's the end of an era. You know what I mean? The end of an era. Not the end of the chapter. The chapter in the book of BCast Gaming has not ended yet, but the era in this chapter. We're doing I don't know, like if this was a story, I guess a time skip, you know, where something, or we're jumping to a different form of scenery. Feels weird. Feels weird. So, we're going to do cards today. We will do cards. I don't know if we're going to play Final Fantasy XI, but I have it loaded up. We're only doing 2 hours of stream, because literally the moment I'm done here, I'm going to touch up a few other things on my computer, and then after that's done, I'm shutting everything down, and I'm out. I'm not going to be here. I got to go travel and do vacation. Then I'll be back here for like a day and a half. And then I will be leaving again to go to the new place. But while I'm here for that day and a half, it's basically just getting this random stuff everywhere packed up and gone. So, yeah. Here we are. Oh, good golly gumdrops, I'll tell you what. So, yeah, we'll give it a few more moments before we start cards. Yeah, what else to talk about for the move? Everything mostly is packed up and ready. There's a lot more stuff than I thought there was. There's a lot of stuff. Like, the stuff in the office here is the stuff that's going to come with me or getting donated. Then the stuff in the kitchen is stuff that can be sent out to the storage over at my folks' place. Everything in my mudroom is either garbage or big item storage. I have 3 bookshelves right here, some miscellaneous things, but most of everything is basically ready to go. And I was given the okay to move in early, so I don't have to worry about trying to get within that 1 day range. I can move things in as the days go. In fact, my first day there should probably be the Friday I return. I'll get back on a Tuesday, I'll get back home on Wednesday, work for Thursday, work for Friday, and then that Friday night I'll be moving things. And that Friday night, I should probably stay in there. I'll probably be there, calling it home. And then the Saturday, I'll be going back and forth the whole time moving things in. Like, it's going to be traveling all of Friday to get things moved. So, yeah. Or Saturday. Friday and Saturday. The second half of Friday will be moving. Saturday will be getting the last of everything out and probably cleaning the last of anything. Yeah, but probably when I get back, he's going to be wiping down a lot of stuff. And then, yeah. But it feels weird. I don't think I've had a white backdrop before like this for a long time. I haven't had like just nothing here. It's weird. It's weird to sit here with nothing, you know. But that's not the case. Right above me up here is all the Magic stuff. You can't see it right now, but all the stuff we've ever done for Magic. That's all going to be boxed separately and brought over there, so it's good to go when we actually get up and running again. I have the new schedule for February done. And I'm going to release that once I get back from the trip. Once I get back from Florida, then I'm actually going to release the schedule and be like, okay, here's what February is going to look like. Here's what we're doing. But for right now, it's like, you know, we're just kind of here until 5. But at 5, I have to get off because I have to finish the last of the stuff on my computer and then get the last of my bug out bag to go for the trip. And then, yeah, Frank is going to be hanging out over at over with the other doggos until I get back, and then Sage is actually going to be watching over the place. I gotta get all of her food and water ready for while I'm gone. So Sage is going to be keeping an eye over everything while I'm gone. So that's the plan. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. So I'll do it at 10 minutes in. So while we're waiting 3 more minutes, I'm just gonna, well, 2.5. I'm gonna let the music just keep going, and then I'll get everything pulled up. I got cards right over here ready. We're just doing one normal pack tonight, nothing else. We're not doing anything crazy. I'm not starting up on any of the big giant display ones like for the scene boxes for 8, 9, 1, or 15. Which I'm going to love to do those. In the new place, we're going to do them. We'll be doing them in the new place. I can't wait for that. Yeah, but for now, it's, yeah. Just feels weird, you know? Just feels weird that we're leaving soon. Oh my goodness, like, it feels like the countdown timer's going for me, you know? Like, T-minus 2 hours, and video-wise, there's one more thing I got coming up in the next couple weeks for here on video. But after this live stream, this is the last live stream we'll ever have here. This is the last one ever. And then next week I'll have one more thing, a little video to kind of end it all. And then we're done. And then we're off into the new location. I have the new schedule. So next week I'm obviously not streaming because I'm not here. For this week, next week, there's no stream because there's nothing going on. So no Friday stream this week, no Monday or Tuesday next week. And then February, I believe the first week of February I have it where there's no stream either. Because I'm going to be getting everything moved in and hooked up, and I don't know how long that's going to take or what's going to happen, so I'm going to take my merry time to get things done. Gears of War and State of Decay are going to be taking the back seat for February too. So we're going to continue on with what we've been doing right now with like Halo and Darksiders. We're going to keep doing that. Because I feel like a month of getting things into the new place is kind of understandable. Because I still have to hook everything up, record everything. And it's like, I might as well take some time to get that ready instead of just like, all right, we're in here, let's get everything hooked up and just get on the ball. Like, I'll take some time just to get the normal stuff that's already finished out. And then when March hits, it's like, okay, let's start making the new stuff that I can record here at the new location. But for February, we're going to kind of just keep the ball running on stuff that's already ready to go. So I think that's going to be the plan. And we got 10, well, we got 10 seconds. Let's just get this going now. So let me grab the cards quick. Alrighty, we're just doing one. Nothing cray-cray. Just one. Just one. Just one. We're only doing one today, boys and girls. And I don't even know what lo-fi have we not done yet. I think I went through the list of it, but I don't remember the list. All right, let's get some smooth music going here. Okay. What to put up? What should we do for music? Let's do. Let's see. What to do? Let me think. We should do Final Fantasy. Does Dissidia have lo-fi? I don't think it's going to. The Final Fantasy lo-fi Mega Mix. Oh, that's got tactics in. That's all tactics right there. We've never played. Oh no, we've played that one. What do we not do? Well, Final Fantasy Lo-Fi Radio's going. Final Fantasy Lo-Fi Radio has always had our back every single time. Let's do them. Final Fantasy Lo-Fi Radio has always got our backs. What is the most tragic Final Fantasy story in your guys' opinion? Zax, Titus, Aerith, Vivi's. Ooh, Vivi's is really sad. Let's get that going. Ooh, Zack, Titus. Most tragic. Titus isn't that tragic. Zax and Vivi's are Vivi. I'm going Vivi. Vivi is winning, yes. Vivi is winning. I figured Vivi would be winning. Yeah, Vivi's is a very sad story. Okay, so we got that going. We're good there, we're good there. Cody, how are you today? Doing very good, Vice. So, I haven't checked my email yet. If you've emailed me, I haven't checked it yet because I'm in the middle of moving right now, so just haven't had the time. It's been pretty chaotic, but welcome. I'm up and going early today because of the fact that the move is happening and I'm going on vacation in like less than 2 hours. So we're just getting everything ready for cards right now. We're just going to be pulling some cards and seeing what we get today. So let's go full camera. There we go. Yeah, as you can see, aside from the magic cards up top and the pack we're doing today, we're about done. So, I am gonna get to the email to see if you sent me anything yet, and I'll get that going to you as soon as I can. But yeah, like I said, vacation and moving is 2 days after vacation. So, as of like today, all the way out until like the 1st, I'm gonna be going hardball. I just sent it less than an hour ago. I apologize. No, you're fine. You're 100% okay. I would not have seen it in the first place because of how everything's been. Hopefully the move and vacation goes well. The vacation will be good. For all the kids going, it's going to be really nice because they get to go to Universal and Disney World. Disney World, I'm excited for both. It's going to be fine. But as an adult now, not a child anymore, I haven't been to Disney in like 20 years. So it'll be nice to see what's different in Disney after 2 decades. When it comes to Universal, I'm looking forward to that. Because that's going to be like Harry Potter World. You know, as a kid, my mom read us the Harry Potter books, and then I took over and read from there. So I really enjoyed Harry Potter. My mom was really excited. I'm like, yeah, I'll go with you, Ma. I want to go see it too. And then we have the Dark Universe side of it all, which is like the darker, like Frankenstein, Dracula. That's going to be really fun. The kids, I don't think are going to be ready for that one. The kids are pretty young, so they're not ready to go see that. Not my kids, my brother and sister's kids. And then, finally, they have like the Mario World, which I'm like, yeah, I want to go see Mario World. I'm gonna go with the kids. I'm gonna go see Mario World. But anyway, I'm talking too much. Let's get her going. But yeah, nice to see you here, Vice. Nice. Whenever I change the time for streams, whenever I change them, or I do extra streams, barely anyone's there because like I have such the set schedule for Mondays all the time at 5:30. So every time, like no one. And I'm okay with that because, you know, we stick to a schedule. But it's just like, you know, man, I always hate throwing people, like, they'll come in later, like, oh, I missed it. I'm like, sorry, like, there's reasons. But yeah, anyway, let's get started with today's pack. Let's hope for something big. Oh, we already got an art card in the back. I'm already excited. Let's see what we got. I don't want to see the fronts. I never want to see the fronts of the decks. I feel like starting from the back and working forward is the best option. Okay, let's see. What do we got? Okay. So, art card, you show... Oh, Final Fantasy 14 we're doing first. Okay. So, starting off, we've got... Well, bam! Ooh, okay. That's the same card she has on her, the same art she has on, like, her main card. And, like, what they use mostly for her advertising is this one. So, yeah, I don't think I've had this version of her yet for an art card. So, yeah. Always a binder. Where did I put the binder in storage? No, I know where it is now. I had to move the binder, but I know where it is now. Okay. Let's start working through any crazy cards with crazy backs. No, and that makes me happy because that means you always got to feel the texture of the backs too to see if they're different. Yeah, that means we're just going to move right on through and we'll figure out what we're doing with the rest of the stream. Here we go. And... Well, bam! Okay. Trino, Dark City. We've already gotten Trino before, I believe. I believe we've already gotten Trino, so I'm not going to look up Trino. Oh, I forgot to do that too. I should get the website open. But I think I've already gotten Trino. I'm not too worried about Trino. I'm certain I have Trino already. Full screen it. There we go. Yes, here we go. Well, I'm not gonna look up Trino. I'll look it up personally to see if we have it, but I already know. I already know. Trino. Yeah, it's 3 cents. I'm certain we've already gotten Trino before, so I'm not going to worry about it. We won't worry about Trino that much. Alrighty, so we're not going to pull up the full cam because, again, Trino. And, you know what, before we do... Okay, wait. Let me see what the art card's worth. What's Yashtola's art card worth? Yashtola, I should say, is her name. Yashtola... Knight's Blessed. The art card. Nope, I want the art card. Yashtola. What are you worth, Yashtola? What's your art card worth? What's the art card worth? Oh, you've got quite a few cards in here. I just want Yashtola's art card. Okay, we'll put in the whole thing. Okay, oh my goodness, that borderless looks good for the Roman numeral card. Yashtola, 30 cents. I'll pull it up just so people can see it too. There's no signature on it, so It's not going to be worth a gajillion dollars. It's no signatured. Full camera. There we go. There, that's your Stola. Now, it's still an art card. I like to collect the art cards, so that's fine. All right, now let's continue forward. Okay, next up we've got, well, bam! whoa, a foiled Gigantoad. We've gotten Gigantoad before, I believe. Let me take a look. We've gotten Gigantoad, I'm sure. Gigantoad? It's worth a penny. I mean, sure, why not? It's already pulled up. It's worth a penny. Foiled, at most, it's 12 cents. At a most. So, Gigantoad. That's fine. Next up, we've got... well, bam! Ultima Origin of Oblivion Final Fantasy 16. Look at that. For anyone who doesn't know, this is the big bad. Legendary creature. God. I've been going through more Final Fantasy 14 lately. Y'shtola is a great character, but Final Fantasy 14 has gotten really good in my opinion. It's on my list. Like, as much as people don't like to hear me say it that are big Final Fantasy 11 fans, people really hate when I say this. They hate it a lot, but I'll say it. Well, there's two things they hate when I say. Because anyone who comes in and plays 11, and is an 11 diehard fan that comes in here, which is a lot more than I thought there were, every time, the answer is one of two things when I bring it up. The first thing I bring up is that someday I will finish 11 and fully take care of everything in the game and be done with it. And the main go-to is just like, nah, you can never be truly done with it. You never finish 11. You can never be done. And I'm like, someday I'm going to run out of quests. The main stories are all going to be done. Like, I'm going to finish it someday. Like, that's just a thing. The second thing is that I'm doing all the mainline Final Fantasies at a minimum. I want to do all the Final Fantasies, but at a minimum, I'm doing all the main lines, which includes 14. And people get peeved when I say I'm going to play 14. Because they're like, why would you play that? I don't like the way the gameplay is done. It's a horrible game. Don't play 14. And I'm just like, I'm going to play them all and give my opinion on all of them with how their gameplay is with their main game. I'm going to do it. You know, the only thing I kick myself with is that I never got to experience original to new and then go through all the new expansions coming out, you know, to really get the whole 14 experience. So I'll have a lot of people ready to rip my head off when I say I'll do 14. I do plan on getting to 14. I think it's going to be a fun time, but it's one of those things where if I'm not going to be playing 11 and 14 at the same time, that's going to get so chaotic on this channel. Things are going to get nuts. So maybe we'll see when that happens. But 14 will most definitely happen. There's no question. No question at all 14 is going to happen. Let's see what Ultima is looking like. I want to see Ultima. What are you worth, Ultima? Please, come on. It is... Oh. Think I found something I like. Here we go. This is him right here. So, near mint, which he just came out of the box, 346. So he's not foiled, but dang, that is automatically a binder. That artwork is amazing. I love the artwork they've been using for these cards lately. It's been very good. Very good, very good, very good. Very nice. I like it. Very good. Alrighty. So far, 2 binder. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. But yeah, I'd like to know more about Y'shtola. She seems cool. I find the people in the Final Fantasy XI community who hate on Final Fantasy XIV to be a bit odd. It's a great game, nothing wrong if the game is different from 14. I have a strong preference for 11, but 14's great. And again, like, that's what I think. I think, you know, like, I play a good amount of Final Fantasy. Like, just listing the games on the channel, I've played, like, not even the games that I finished or we're playing right now, but, like, X, so 10, 12, 11, 15. We have the original. We have Type 0. We have all these games going on. And it's just like, all of them have a different way they're played, and all of them are different games altogether. Just because a game is different, or a game is done differently, or made at a different time, doesn't mean the game is inherently bad, or anything's wrong with the game. There's nothing wrong with that. It's the fact that some people think that, because both of these are the same type of game, 13 I forgot to put in there. Because these are the same types of games, one inherently has to be better than the other. Or, I played this one, and I didn't like how this is done, so I don't like this game. And I'm not talking about anyone specific that comes through here or anything. I've seen it online, too, for opinions. So it's not like just the people who come here to watch 11. You know, that's not the case. I've seen it everywhere. And I just think to myself where it's just like, they might both be MMOs. And I understand when I made my 12 Days of Fantasy video for the original this year, and I brought up how basically Final Fantasy 14 is more like an RPG MMO is what it's called, which is more of a role you can play by yourself basically, and it's just other people are there. You know, I was just like, you know, if it's good and people enjoy it and it's done well and it's successful and doing okay, more power to it, you know? If it's a game that is not doing well, does not have good gameplay, people don't like it, then there's a level to critique it. So yeah, that's my opinion. I am gonna do 14 someday. A lot of people want me to do it sooner rather than later, but it's like I've already got like a ton of other things I'm working on here. Like, yes, we will get to 14. I don't know when we're gonna get to 14, but we will. Pepita, so early today. Yes, we're doing cards right now, and I'm just talking with Vice. We actually just pulled, we've got a good art card going so far, and we just got, I want to hold it right so I'm not smudging them up too much. We got Ultima and Y'shtola, so it hasn't been too bad. We were just talking Final Fantasy 14, and the community's view on it when it comes to 11 versus 14. Nothing too crazy. But yes, I'm early today because we're only going till 5. Once that's done, I have to get off and finish the last few things on my computer, and then I am going off to vacation. And the moment I get back from vacation, I'll be in the middle of moving. So as you can see, aside from a Mass Effect poster, everything's gone. Everything's done. You'll see the blue dots on the wall from where everything else was. So yeah, this is going to be the last stream for a couple weeks, just because, you know, once I get into the new place, I'll need like a week to get everything hooked up and ready. I see. Yeah, it's the end of an era. It's the end of an era. You know, not the end of the chapter, just the end of an era. You know, it's a sad time, but we all learn to accept. We all accept in our own ways. Let's continue forward, shall we, so we get to some more. Oh man, it is, right? I mean, look, not even the Lancer from Gears of War is here. A little fun fact. Okay, I guess since this is the last stream, I didn't plan on doing a lot of 11 today anyway, probably just going and fishing. So, fun fact for everybody. These two boxes I've had in multiple different places I've lived, and these boxes are very special boxes. Because A, Sage likes to dig in them and bite the corners constantly, so I have to put them so she can't get them. So much hair in the corners of this box. I haven't swept out this yet. These boxes, like this. So these boxes have been with me since I started doing gear talks in my second apartment, and this would be my camera stand. This has been my camera stand for like the past 5 or 6 years, has been these two boxes. I'll move my stuff out of the way on my desk, and then I will put these up on the desk like so, and then I'll steady it and center it, put the camera on top, and this is what I use to record everything. When I do gear talks or when I record my games, like, looks like bugs chewed it. No, that's just Sage after like 4 years. Used to not look like this. Before I got Sage, they were fine boxes. This is Sage because she likes to bite into cardboard and plastic and rubber. For some reason. She just does it. Streamlord, that's right. But so the stream, everything you see here is normal. This is how I normally record everything for when I have my computer set up. So like Final Fantasy this year was done through my computer, so I could do it like this. But when I play Gears of War, State of Decay, anything that involves me recording on my TV or Gear Talks when I'm standing up, this is how I record. This is my camera stand. Chewed up. There. Let me turn around. There. This has been my camera stand. And the last video I did to get ready to leave is the reason they're still here. But these guys are finally going to go off to the dump. They're finally going to get tossed and garbaged. They've served their purpose well for like 5 or 6 years. These 2 literal boxes have been like, they were at like a smaller apartment I was at, and then we came here. And they've always been with me. But it's finally time to retire. Because the new place, I'm just going to find a new way or just buy a camera stand. And you'd say like, well, Cody, why didn't you have a camera stand in the beginning? I did. And that broke when I lived in my studio apartment. And I was like, well, I just don't have the money to spring for this, and it's an old camera. I'm going to get a new camera soon anyway. By the way, you know what? While we're doing stream, we'll get back to the cards in a moment. Will you get a proper cam handle? Yes, I will. For anyone wondering, like, what have you been recording all your videos on? This. That's how I've recorded everything. As you can see, it's dirty as ever, and it's actually broken. One of the screws is gone, so I have to make sure it's pushed into place. This is recorded all of my Gear Talks and face cam stuff for... Gear Talk started... Let's see here, Gear Talk? Probably 6 years. Over 6 years, this guy's taking care of that. This camera's over 6 years old, and it's recorded everything you see when I have it up for this for, like, Gear Talks or when I'm doing anything else, so... Yeah. And people will be like, well, you must be cheap or something. I'm like, I'm not really cheap. It's just if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But he is broken now, so, you know. I can't. This camera has caused me nothing but headaches, too. If you watch any of my videos, it irks me the most. It has, like, autofocus, and the autofocus is, like, broken. So it automatically will focus into anything, and I've manipulated and tinkered with this thing for years. It's just, this was just a bad camera, I guess. Because I can't do anything to fix the focus problem. So when I get my new camera, manual focus for the win. I can guarantee you that. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. And you're like, we'll use manual focus on there. I'd love to, but the manual focus is busted on it too. Some recording lore for my channel. The first dozen of my videos were recording a cardboard box stuffed with towels for noise dampening. You know, I really should have been doing that with these for all these years because you can hear the echoes constantly off of mine. So I wish I would have done that. The first dozen of my videos, yeah. Like, I wish I would have done, like, the new place is going to be, the new place has carpet in the living room, which I very much want because it helps with sound reduction. But I hate echoes. I went through college and everything. Oh, let me get rid of these commercials quick. We ain't got time for no commercials. No commercials. But yeah, I went to commercial for sound design. I went to mass communications and there we go. And my main focus was in radio. I was a radio DJ for 9 years of my life. Even while I was streaming, I did radio. And it's just like, you know, like sound is a very important part of that category of everything. So for me, it's like, I really hate not to have decent sound. Like, I'm using a Blue Yeti for a recording mic. Here, I'll even show you right now. There you go. That's the microphone right there. Everyone uses Blue Yetis now and then, but like I went through school like doing everything with XLR cables and everything, so I understand good sound performance and good mics. This is not even close to being like the best you can get or even mid-level. This is beginner, and beginner has been with me since the beginning of the channel. So I have a lot of things I want to change, and the new place is going to give me that ability to. But you know, when you have a full house to yourself and you're paying for a lot of it, you know, you gotta allocate your funds where you can, and it's like, again, as Pep said, if it works, it works. So that's what I went with. The new place, though, like, it's, you know, it's still not like I'm gonna be doing saving or anything, but, you know, I'm gonna be focusing on a lot more luxury things, like better microphones. Okay, let's continue cards. Ready? Well, bam! Clash of the Icons. Man, Final Fantasy 16 is very popular today. We have never gotten Clash of the Icons. Or maybe we have. I don't think we've gotten Clash of the Icons. Clash of the Icons, what we got? Well, there you go. 5 cents. Well, maybe we have gotten it. Let me see here. No, we didn't get the borderless card. We didn't get that one. Never mind. I thought we did, but we didn't. Okay, let's continue forward. Okay. Next up, we got... Well, bam! Elixir. We've already gotten Elixir. We got a foiled Elixir, by the way. Well, bam! I have not gotten Ramu. I'm probably saying Ramu horribly wrong, but this is the Final Fantasy VI Ramu, by the way. Okay, Ramu. I'm putting money on you. What do we got, Ramu? Come on. Come on. I'm bad at pronunciation. Ramu. Couldn't have even been an art card. Ah, Ramu's worth 4 cents. Alright, Ramu. Alright, alright. Alrighty. Alright, next up we've got... Well, bam! Oh my... We're getting good stuff! Oh my god. It's Sephi. Sephiroth the Savior. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Okay. This might be worth something. Ramu. Oh my god, this is automatically in the binder. Oh my gosh, it's Sephiroth. And what I've noticed with the magic cards when it comes to Sephi, he goes through the roof. So there's a chance Sephi right here is worth a gajillion dollars. All right, Sephi. Here, I'll pull everyone up with me so we can do this. Okay, Sephi. Oh boy, come on, bud. I don't want any of that spittle I just let off on the card. Maybe good money, maybe. Sephi! Sephi, where are you, Sephi? I don't want... Oh, ho, 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 ho. A foiled version's $183, by the way. Look at that. Yeah! 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 We got Sephi! Sephiroth is just always through the roof. Whenever you get a Sephiroth card, expect it to be worth something. Woohoo! We already won. We already win. $20 in the bank right there. And I'm not even... I had someone ask me about all this too, like at work. They were talking about this, and they're like, well, do you sell the cards? And I'm like, no. I don't sell the cards. I collect them. Oh my... And I talked to my other friend, Brent, and he's like, no, like, if you collect the cards, in the future, like, years and years down the road, they'll be worth a ton of money. Look at that! 20 bucks. A deck is worth $7 to $8 nowadays. So we got Sephi. Sephi just made the entire pack. Sephi and Ultima teaming up. By the way, here's a good question. Final Fantasy VII Sephiroth, Ultimate form, the Savior form, versus... This isn't a bad idea. Okay. I'm a fan of versus. Let's do this. Who wins? Who wins in a fight? That's an amazing look. It is. It's amazing looking. Especially the art done, and it's his final form Sephi. Who wins in a fight? Ultimate forms, okay? And I know for Ultima that's a little harder. Let's just take them as they are here. Ultima from Final Fantasy 16 versus Final Form the Savior Sephiroth. Who's winning in this battle? Who are you putting your money on? Again, this is Sephi at his strongest, okay? And this is Ultima at this level. So we're not taking Ultima at the crazy bombastic bajillion health bars, okay? Out of these two, who wins in a fight? That's a good question. Remember, it's not Ultimate Uber F off Ultima. It's the Ultima we have in that one. So, like, still extremely powerful. Extremely. But we're not going, like, the end level, end game 16 Sephiroth. Man, another ad again. Okay, I'll play your games. There we go. Some food for thought for the lore fans. The art is very good. I love the art. I mean, just look. I'll pull it up again. Just look at that. Look at that right there. That's beautiful. No clue about Ultima's strength. So I don't know. So here's the thing. I don't know too much about Ultima either, because 16 is still on my to-do list. But I can tell you one thing. I know for a fact that the Ultima in that picture is not the most powerful Ultima can be. I know that for a fact. Probably Sephiroth. That's the thing. Like, Sephiroth is like a dimensional character. Like, at what point do you consider a character a god? Like, if I look at it right here, the something angel, and then literally Ultima is just god. I know for a fact Ultima is a god in 16. He's just a god. But you have to ask yourself, Sephiroth when he ascends, well, ascending is the wrong word, because that makes it sound like he does become a god. But Sephiroth at his most powerful, and then, let's say Kefka at his most powerful. Are they, at that point in your mind, are they gods? That's a question. Would you say that Sephi and Kefka at their strongest levels when they hit their peaks, are they gods? That's a question. Because Ultima, there's no arguing. It's a god. Ultima's a god. Final Fantasy 13, you have the Lysae, the Scythe, all of that. It's stated like they are basically pseudo gods, and then there's actual gods. But no, that's like yeah, basically like they're gods, but like minor gods. And then the actual gods are the ones you deal with like Final Fantasy like 13 Lightning Returns. So that's where I have to ask you that one. What would you categorize to be a god? Would Sephiroth and Kefka be gods? Or would they be ascended to higher levels of power? You know what I mean? Like, Ultima, it's just stated in the game. They're gods. It's a god. You know? Final Fantasy 13. These are something that are like gods, but mostly gods, and then these are actual bona fide gods. Like, you know what I'm getting at. Like, that's the question. Like, what level do you hit god status? Let's continue. We're already 37 minutes into this. Well, bam! Hilgigast. We've already gotten Hilgigast before. Well, bam! Oh, Sycophate. I love you, X, but just give me an actual Seymour card. Well, bam! Magitech Infantry. We've already gotten you guys also. Well, bam! Dreams of Laguna. We have also already gotten Dreams of Laguna. I got 3 left. Well, bam! Chocobo Kick. Have we gotten Chocobo Kick? We might not have gotten Chocobo Kick. I don't think it's going to be worth anything, but I'll open up Chocobo Kick. See what we got. It's worth a penny. 1 penny. 3 cents. 3 cents at a most. 1 penny. Okay. Alrighty, what are the last 2 cards? Well, bam! Undercity Dire Rat. Vaughn, you had fun with those guys. Well, bam! And then we also have the Sabotender, which we've also... Final Fantasy 11. We got some Final Fantasy 11 love right here. Okay. I wouldn't categorize Sephi as a god, though. And that's what I always think to myself, like... Because it's stated with his abilities and everything, and, like, if you look deep into it all... Like, okay, his abilities are most definitely, like, at that point, reality bending. Like, the whole idea of supernova and everything... Like, I believe it was in one of the guide... Not even a guide, but it was in one of the lore books or something involving it that broke down Sephiroth. That when he does that, you're actually being, like, teleported to another, like, reality or something where an actual supernova is going off. And then he pulls you back once the supernova is done. So the question is, like, it's not just an illusion you're seeing. You're being affected by it. So the question is, at that point, is what is going on with Sephiroth? You know, like, he's able to basically put you into another reality and then pull you back. Because that's what the supernova is. It's not like your sun keeps going supernova. You know, it's stated that it's not just an illusion. You're being affected by an actual supernova. You know? So even if you say it is all an illusion, he still has the ability to put the powers of a supernova to hit you. Which is... You need reality bending to do that. There's no other way around that. You know? Kefka is literally built as an angel. You know? He has the Stairway to Heaven, which is his final boss fight. So it's like, okay, well, is he an actual angel? Because the 3 gods, he gets the power of the 3 gods. So is he using the power of the 3 gods? Or is he an actual god because of the power that he got from all 3 of them? That's the question. Yeah, Ultimisia can do some cray-cray stuff, too, but exactly, and that's explained also in, it's explained for 8 that there were gods. It's so weird, because it's like such background lore, that there was a god that basically split off a fraction of its power and divided it into what we know as the sorceresses. And Ultimisia is trying to get all of that power and then just become like the uber F-off sorceress. So in hindsight, that's the power in a way of a god. So my question to you then is Ultimisia at her strongest, since she's already using the power of a god, does she become a god, or is it just uber powers from a god? You know what I mean? I'd like to say Ultimisia doesn't hit god level. I'm pretty sure of that one. Like you said, she's just an F-off sorceress that likes to play with reality and time magic. So Ultimisia gets like a pass, because she explains it herself with that one. But there's a lot of cases. You have, I can never get his name right, like some of the earlier ones, but like in Final Fantasy V, I can never say his name. I know exactly what it looks like. They all start meshing with like the first few. But, oh, here's a good one. Garland from Final Fantasy 1. He becomes Chaos incarnate. Is he technically becoming a god, or is he just the essence of chaos? You know what I mean? What would Garland be at the very end of it all? I'm very unknowledgeable about Final Fantasy VIII lore, but the villain of Final Fantasy VIII and Wings of the Goddess are very... Ooh, I'm excited now. Reality and time benders, eh? You have to define what a god is, LOL, because each universe in 11, Final Fantasy is different. You're right. Each one is different. But here's the thing. They can be connected by some characters. For instance, you have characters like Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh, it's stated from 5 forward, supposedly, it's stated through many of them, but we don't know if it's all of them, that it's the same Gilgamesh that keeps popping up in all the games. Like in Final Fantasy XI, that's the same Gilgamesh from 5. It's the same Gilgamesh. So the question is, okay, so we know that 5 and 12, I meant 12, not 11. 5 and 12, that's Gilgamesh, right? So Gilgamesh is like bouncing between realities and dimensions because of what happens to him. So the question is, do those fall under the same pretenses of what makes a god in 5 and 12? See what I mean? And then you have Shantoto. Shantoto is able to go between 11 and 14. It's just stated she can do it. It's not like, oh, this is something really hard and it's a one-time thing. No, she can just do it. So 11 and 14 with Shantoto, okay, what makes a god in 14 and 11, in theory, should kind of fall into the same logic because they can be connected and bridged by a character. You know, it's not like it's impossible for anything to be in this universe, hence that's why they have different rules. Well, there's characters that can be in multiple, so what exactly are the rules at that point? You know what I mean? Where in 16, it is openly stated, this is a god. There's no way around it, that's a god. So the question I'd have is, okay, if they did a crossover with 16 and like 14, does that mean that the same rules apply for 16, 14, and 11, since 11 can connect? See what I mean? I don't know how Final Fantasy 11 is linked to 14. Shantoto is able to link them. So Shantoto, I can pull up the cutscene for it too. I mean, why not? We're kind of just talking about Final Fantasy today. Shantoto has the ability, and she's done it into 14, she can cross and open up and go into the world of Final Fantasy 14. She appears there because of like an event that goes on with Shantoto, where there's like a big Shantoto mimic that's going on. But at the very end of everything, Shantoto herself appears, and she talks to the characters and everything. She knows who she is. It's not like this is like Shantoto but a different universe Shantoto. No, it's the same Shantoto. And then when Shantoto is done talking with them, she leaves to go back to Final Fantasy 11. And she can like open up like, and it's not like she can do it for everybody. She just does it for herself. So she's able to go to 14. She can just go there. You know, and that's the thing that's like the weird thing. That's why she's given such praise as like one of the deadliest black mages in all of Final Fantasy, because she can just do it. She's one of the only characters that can cross into other Final Fantasy games, hence their universes, which is why I find it so crazy. I should probably see if Final Fantasy still, yeah, it is still up. I should probably get into the game actually and do some fishing. There we go. There we go. There we go. Then again, she's in Dissidia too. Yes, but Dissidia takes a lot of leeway with a lot of things. And it's explained in Dissidia too. A lot of the characters also see her as the F-off most powerful mage. Like, many characters also say that. Like, in like the first Dissidia, I think she's brought in as like an extra DLC character or something. I forget. I just wonder how lore-wise she can do it. I don't think they ever explain the specifics of how she does it. I don't think there's an actual lore way of them saying, like, here's the specific measures of how she got here. But it's shown, at least in 14, she can do it, and it doesn't seem like it's something that's very detrimental, to the point where she's like, you know, I just did this. This was a crazy spell that happened. It was a first-time trial. It went horribly wrong. I'm in some weird, mystical, different world. I don't know what's going on. You know, I'm going to need a lot of time to gather what I need, and I need to figure things out. My body took it. No, she's just like, okay, I finished up with things here. See ya. I'm going home. Literally, that's just how it goes. And I'm sure I'm simplifying it a lot more than it actually is. I'm certain I am. But that's essentially what Shantoto does. She's just like, okay, I'm done here. See you later. Well, in Shantoto's way of doing it, just like, alright, it seems everything is done. I've come to this world, and once again, I've won. I'm going home now. I'll see you all later. If you try and come at me, you're an alligator. Unless Final Fantasy 14 is the same timeline as 11, it is not. It's not the same timeline. Because they even explain in 14, just, well, I guess I can't say yes or no. I can't say it is not. I can. Because, in a way, there's a way to connect them all. I saw a theory video on how they connect it. The easiest ones I've heard connected are, like I said, when it comes to 14 and 11, easy to connect because of Shantoto, and like you said, it could be different time. It all depends. It really does. Again, I'm not 100% on any of it. It all just depends. And then 7 and 10 is the other one that's really big because obviously the Shinra stuff. So 7 and 10 I've heard connections to that, and then I've heard 11 to 14. There was another one too. I think it was Final Fantasy. What was it? I think Final Fantasy like 6 can lead into 7 somehow because of how the technology works. Something like that. I don't remember too much. Like, the biggest ones I've heard are 7 and 10 and 11 and 14, though. Those are the biggest I've ever heard. The other ones at that point, like, maybe 8 into 15, I think I once heard somewhere. But, again, this is all, like, speculation. At the end of the day, Dissidia exists. And, in theory, technicality, somewhat kind of true-ish, not really. Dissidia is its own thing. It could be true, it could be not. It could be all connected, it couldn't be. I don't know. There's so many games that pull all the characters. You have to ask yourself, what exactly is canon? Because in Dissidia, you have Jet. Jet's there, okay? How does that work? How is Jet there? If anyone wants to tell me, now's the time. You know, Jet is in Dissidia. By all intents and purposes, the villains are in Dissidia. Are we going from the end of the games? Because if that's the case, none of them should be there. Because the majority of those villains are gone. Garland most certainly ain't there. Jet most definitely ain't there. Yeah, I'm sorry. But, no. Like, someone sit down and explain where they come from in Dissidia, please. I'd like to hear that. Yeah, because some of it just doesn't make any sense. Some of it, there's just no way. Some of it, there's just no way. Yeah, I don't know how he's there. Exactly, like, Ultimecia is there. Well, Ultimecia, time and reality magic, they could find a way for her. But who else is there that's a fun one to poke fun at? Maybe the Faith was like, okay, you can, right? The Final Fantasy X is over, and all the Faith collectively are like, well, they need someone to represent our game, right? They need someone to represent X. Somebody has to. Alrighty, well, Titus is gone. He returned back to us. You know, we woke up, so he's not here. Jet, they literally killed him and he came back. Auron, well, he's here too. Well, we could pick Yuna. Yeah, but she's got to do Final Fantasy X2 still. It's like, well, how do we get Titus back? Well, I guess we can give him permission this once to go. Well, who's the villain? And imagine the Faith are all sitting there like, oh, that's a really good question. Who's the villain? Do we get Seymour? It's like, yeah, but Seymour's a dick. It's like, oh, yeah, we got to figure out the Seymour thing. Well, why don't we get Jet? It's like, well, we can't throw Sin in there. It's a giant whale, so let's use Jet. Well, yeah, but he's in the same boat as Titus. Well, we're giving Titus permission. Might as well give him permission, too. They're at least dreams that became real. They look at Auron and they look at Seymour. And it's just like, Auron, you actually died. And Seymour, you're just a dick who didn't want to die. Throw him in there. We ain't got anyone else to pick from. What else are we going to use? Sin's creations or Albed technology? Throw him in. X is one of our most profitable, most successful games we ever made. Someone's got to be in there. And everyone loves Jet. I love Jet. It's like, yeah, put him in. We might as well get him in there. Oh, well, exactly. Like, who else are you going to put in? You know? Like, really think about that. Okay, all honesty. Okay, there is one other character that could work, but I'm happy they didn't, and that's Yunalesca. Yunalesca could have worked perfectly fine as the villain. I know she could have. Like, but here's the thing with Yunalesca, and you'll notice if you watch the trailers or the cinematics for Dissidia, they already have so many casters. There's so many casters in the game already. They even put Terra as a caster. So I'm like, okay, maybe we leave Yunalesca out of this one. I think leaving Yunalesca out was a good call. I don't think Yunalesca would have been the best choice. Because again, there's so many casters. Like you have, like I'll just go off the top of my head. You have the, I can't remember the name of the bad guy from 5 off the top of my head, the main one. But he was a mage. 4, he was a mage. Yunalesca. Oh, just the ones in the game. Kefka. Ultimecia. Shantoto. Terra was thrown in as one. to be honest, would have been awesome to see. It would have been. But she'd be they would have, just like, Cloud of Darkness, that's another one that they put in as a caster. They would have done the exact same thing as Cloud of Darkness. In the first Dissidia, it's the Cloud of Darkness that we know. You know, not the cloud itself, but the lady that basically has the 2 coverings on, right? I think Unalesca would have gotten away with it in the first game. After that, no way. Unalesca would have been censored after the first game. No question. They would have been like, okay, let's pull it back, Unalesca, okay. Cloud of Darkness got by because, you know, it's the Cloud of Darkness. It's a cloud that's personified as a woman. You're a full-fledged banging beauty, okay? You gotta put a top on. Unalesca, come here. Okay, you and the Cloud of Darkness both come over here. Come here, put some tops on. We can't have you running around mostly naked, okay? Alright, gonna make the game way too hard to play then. You know? We have all these gamers that are playing with one hand at this point. No, I think Unalesca would have been nice. Here's what. They put Yuna as an extra character from the franchise to go in. Do the same with Unalesca. Have Yuna go in and Unalesca. Perfect. Or Riku. Riku and Pain would have been fine too, but I think if you want another villain, do Unalesca. It would have been a perfect choice. I'm tempted to pull up Unalesca to my computer right now, but I don't want to pull that up and get the crazy pictures on here. So, no Unalesca for right now, everyone. How much inventory space do I have? Let's do some fishing. Oh, I need more space. Some things I can just throw away. Well, wait. I can just sell some things. I got a mog right here I can do that with. What's up, buddy? It's been a while. It has. I don't come here as often as I should be. Yeah, I know, buddy. Did I neglect to notify you that an ancient associate of mine, Monsieur Coupant, shall arrive anon? I swear I can see the foretold funny... You've been a caring commander to me, so how about I weave a wall's worth of worshipping words adorned by ardent acclaim when I introduce... Sure. This is preceded upon your prominent partnership in my plan. However, my floating friend fancies collecting the carcasses of crustaceans for all the places he patrons. Should a rare representative of deep-sea denizens reveal itself to you on the banks of the beach, please pick it up and place it in my paws, Kupo. Okay, can I trade you? I simply can't wait for my friend to flap his furry physique over here. Oh, the terrific times we've had together. I'd love to secure a striking specimen of a shell for him so he could have proof of my purgentations. I need to learn more vocabulary. If you could wade through what washes up on shore and find a fitting figure of one, I would be, dare I say it, shell-shocked. Oh. Can I just sell things to you? Thank you. I will do my best to help you, but I'd like to get some stuff taken care of. Goods and rank. I just want to sell you things, man. Okay. We do not need... I'm just going to sell you the stuff I know I don't need. How much is the bomb arm worth? Mithril Eerie, Mithril Ring. Okay, we don't need slime oil. I know we don't need slime oil, so take both of them. Yes, go ahead. How much you want for the ore? Okay, no, we're holding on to these. I was graciously given these. I'm not going to sell what I've been given. A bat wing. Take the bat fang and the bat wing for all I care, man. Yep. I just need a little bit of inventory space for fishing. That's all I need. I don't need much here. We're just doing some fishing until it's time for me to say goodbye for the day. All right, we're not selling anything else, okay? We're good. We're fine. We're fishing. We have fishing to do. All right, we got to fish. And then we'll focus on some more stuff later. Do I still have everything equipped? Yep, I never took my fishing stuff off. Let's do it. I need to catch more of those delicious, what was it? Oh! Wait, what am I missing? Oh, that's why. There. Sorry. I had it stuck in chat for some reason. No, stop it. There we go. Moat cart. Sorry, this is really late for Final Fantasy 14-11. Not sure. Sorry, this is really late. cannot share a universe. Well, I'm not saying they like share the same universe. I'm saying that their universes can like be connected because of Shantoto. You know, like they're not the same, you know, like, how do I put it? You'll never see Lion interact with Yashoda. It'll never happen. You know, like that kind of stuff just won't happen is the best way I can put it. But like the universes can be like connected because of the fact that Shantoto is able to cross universes. That's kind of what I'm getting at, kind of. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? Like that's the best way. Like Dissidia, but Dissidia is its own thing. But then you have like, again, Shantoto is able to go into 14 and then return back home to 11. Like that's kind of what I'm getting. Like, you know, I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers or be just like, no, I'm right. But it's just like, she's done it, you know? There are several lore elements that make both games mutually exclusive. If they do not share worlds, they are super distant, like alternate realities within one omniverse multiverse. And that's the thing too, like we're really getting out there, and I'll do all this while I'm fishing too. We're really getting out there into like how universes and everything work for multiverses, but it's just like, yeah, that explanation is fair. But like, that's the thing you have to say, like, the best way I could kind of explain it, you know, like, again, there's some games where they push the idea that they're connected. Like, for instance, you have 7 and 10, where they always have the theory of it. I think it's finally been debunked. Maybe it has. I don't know, but the whole Shinra thing, you know. I think maybe it's just an Easter egg, or it's... I really don't know off the top of my head. I honestly hope Final Fantasy its own thing, because I like Final Fantasy X just as it is. But... you know, again, getting that idea, like, you have the whole omniverse of everything, like, each bubble is its own... like, how Dark Souls works. How Dark Souls works is the best way I can put it. The same way Dark Souls works is that you have all of these... One second. I just don't want to lose my focus while I fish. There. So, Dark Souls, how the Dark Souls world works, the universe, is that... yeah, to me, it's just an Easter egg. That's what I'm thinking, too. I think people really dug a lot deeper than they need to. But, again, I can see where they're coming from with the theories. I can see it. I can. But at the same time, it's like, it's very obvious, like, there's things that would and wouldn't work here. Like, if Sin's going around causing everything it has been for all those years and just wiping things off the face of the earth, here's the thing, okay? The life stream from 7, right? The planet's live stream and everything. The world is basically, all intents and purposes. We're getting really general here with 7. Really general, okay? All intents and purposes, the planet itself is out to make sure that the planet is safe. That's what it wants to do. The live stream, the planet, everything's hunky-dory, we're fine. So when Fit hits the Shan and things are, like, destroying the planet, that's when you have the planet actually... you know, going into defense mode. That's where the weapons come in. Okay? Stick with me here. The life stream and the weapons, by what we can see, they've been around since the planet. That's just how it's been, right? Again, very generalizing it all, but you'll see where I'm going with it. Sin is going around, created basically by the people of Zanarkand originally. Well, not the people, but a certain person in Zanarkand is created. And basically gets taken off its leash and starts causing havoc across the entire planet, right? It is basically the creation of death incarnate. Lack of a better term. So, answer me this. The life stream, when you die, your spirit goes back to the life stream. If there is an imbalance in the planet, and let's say the summoners weren't able to jump in and do anything, and Sin just kept going through and destroying everything, right? That's going to create an imbalance, okay? I feel like the planet would have an issue if all life on the planet was destroyed and the life stream was just clogged up with all of these souls coming back. Again, very general with everything, because I know there's Final Fantasy VII nuts. I'll be like, actually, I don't mean to be mean to Final Fantasy VII fans, but there are Final Fantasy VII fans that'll die on their graves. They will die defending 7 for everything. Anyway, so if the planet were to have an issue with everything, right? And Sin is basically man-made with what we know about Zanarkand and how it came to be and everything. Then, in theory, wouldn't the idea of the planet deciding to go into defense be a thing? Because it's not just humans, it's destroying everything. So wouldn't at some point the planet be like, we gotta send out the weapons? You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't it be like, okay, we kind of have to deal with this? Like, if Sin did nothing, the best way to say if Final Fantasy 7 and 10 were connected is if the weapons got involved. Because in my opinion time, if Sin was going to keep going on doing Sin stuff, and there was no summoners that could go through the pilgrimage and take him out, even for the Years of Peace, you can't tell me that the planet, if it was the Final Fantasy 7 world, you can't tell me that they wouldn't try and do something. The world wouldn't try and do something. You know what I'm kind of getting at? Like, and again, this is just a really general concept of how to show, but I don't know. I would assume Ruby or Emerald Weapon would kind of step up like, yo, this is getting out of hand. Planet sent me here to go deal with you. What the hell, man? That's what I'm getting at. Okay. Again, I'm not trying to get nerdy on it or anything, but like, if they were connected, or ask yourself this: was Sin a weapon? Could you say that that's how the weapons were made? Was from summoners doing their shenanigans? You know what I mean? You never know. Maybe all the weapons are just different versions of Sin. That would be a lot of death then. Just a thought. Yeah, like I said, like, not trying to go deep into it, lost in the sauce or anything. But, like, you know, if it was the same planet as 7, I feel like the actual planet itself would get involved. I feel like if Sin was running around causing havoc, and it was originally made by the people, well, not the people, but basically the Summoner of Zanarkand. Can never get the names right with the heavier lore of 7, or X. I feel like at that point it would have been like, okay, this was not naturally made by me. Kind of got to step in at this point, or else it's going to destroy everything and it's going to wreck the planet and wreck me too. Anyway, how's everyone's day doing? Sorry to go on a tirade like that. I didn't mean to make it sound like I was trying to be like, Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy 7 can't be connected because of this. Not trying to be that way. I'm not trying to be that person. I just got in a tirade because I love Final Fantasy X, and I was just like, oh man, let's see if it could actually work. And it's like, nah, the planet and the weapons will become a problem. That's where it would come from. Although I would like to say, do you think any of the weapons could defeat Sin? There's a question for you. There's a good question. Could any of the weapons defeat Sin? To be honest, it's just a human thing, no? Are you talking about how Sin was made? Sin was made by humans, yeah. So, how do I put it? So back in the day when Zanarkand was the Zanarkand from the actual story of Final Fantasy, before it became Ruins, Zanarkand was what it looks like in the dream. It looks all futuristic technology and all that. That's what it looked like. That was actual Zanarkand, what it looked like. Now, obviously, the dream is what they remember it as. That's what they're dreaming of, is Zanarkand. So, they were at war. And they were going against... I don't want to get the lore wrong, but if I remember right, Zanarkand was going against the Al Bhed. They were fighting. And no, I don't think any of the weapons would make it. I don't think so either. I think Sin could easily just body slam them. Just gut check them and he'd win. So, basically what would happen is... they were at war. I believe it was the Al Bhed. It was magic against science, is basically what it was. So they were at war with one another, all right? And if I remember right, maybe Odin could kill it. Call Yojimbo. Yojimbo can kill anything. Yojimbo will just kill literally pay Jimbo enough money, anything dies. It doesn't matter. Bring Yojimbo into any Final Fantasy game and he wins. He just literally, he can kill anyone he wants at any time. He just feels like he doesn't want to do it. Yojimbo against anyone. Yojimbo wins. Literally, bet money on Yojimbo, and he will take the purse, and he will do it. Yojimbo would do it in a heartbeat. Selfie's Overdrive could kill it, right? Vanille's finisher Death wins. Vanille can just kill it with Death. She's got a 1 in 100 chance of doing it, but she could do it. Kate Sith, if you fully get everything good with Kate Sith could do it. I love those characters. The ones that just are your backup plan for if things go bad. But why didn't they use Yojimbo then? If I remember right, for Yojimbo, they just pay the guy and he kills it. Exactly, that's literally how Yojimbo works. You just pay him and he takes care of it for you. If I remember right, I think for the summoner-wise for Yojimbo, because some Aeons, I know for a fact some Aeons didn't exist yet during the ancient times of Xanarkand. Like for instance, Jet technically became an Aeon. Because that's what happens at the very end of fighting Sin. One of your Guardians has to become the Aeon. So, you know, Aeons were made as they went. So it's not like, you know, it's not like all the Aeons were around back then. But it was a war basically of like magic and technology, right? And the magic side had summoners. I think the magic side, if I remember right, might have been evil. I think they might have been. If not, I think it was just both sides were fighting. And the machinery side was winning. And they kept fighting. They were their name was like their name later on becomes Al-Bhed because of the fact of like combining and shortening names they had back then creates Al-Bhed. So they were in a battle. And I believe Xanarkand was going to lose until the High Priestess Summoner of Xanarkand was able to actually go through and do a summoning or created Sin. Again, generalizing it, there's an actual lore breakdown of everything. It's been a while since I looked into this part of it all. But that's basically what created it. And I think if I remember right, it involved Yunalesca for it. If I remember. Again, a lot of this I have to read. You know what? After this, I'm going to read up on it. I'm going to get the facts straight. This is Final Fantasy X. My favorite Final Fantasy. I'm going to get it right. I'm going to look it up after we're done with this quick. I'm not getting Final Fantasy X lore wrong on here and giving it a bad name. We're going to get this right. There, give me more carb. Alright, give me one moment to get my facts straight. Alrighty. Here we go. Here we go. Yes, the High Priestess at the time was Yu Yevon. Created by Yu Yevon, the leader of Xanarkand, who used powerful magic to gather and compress millions of Pyreflies, souls of the dead, into a living armor to protect himself and his dream world after his city's defeat in the war with Bavel. That's right! That's right, I completely... Yes, Yu Yevon, because he's the cockroach at the very end, the personification of what he is. Jeez. It's all coming back to me now. Yes, Yu Yevon basically was the first Sin. He was the first one. And basically every time Sin was put down and put into a slumber, that was a different Aeon that had to take over and become Sin. So how it worked is that Yu Yevon basically created this, and when he created Sin, the downside about Sin is that yes, it took care of the Al-Bhed problem, but it was like a raging beast that he couldn't control because he became it. So after he became it, he started to slowly lose his mind, and he just became a wandering beast of death and destruction. So every now and then you gotta come through and you gotta do the sacrifice, which I believe Yunalesca was the first one to do it, and that I believe that was how they learned the method on how to constantly get the time of peace. And then every time he reappeared, you have to take the pilgrimage. I believe the same pilgrimage as Yunalesca. It's been a while. I need to replay. I can't point to it anymore because I don't have it back here. But yes, that's how it worked. Jeez, it's all... You read it, and then it all comes to you. Like, it felt like a flashbang went off my head just now. I read it, I'm like, yes, that's exactly what it was. Why didn't I remember this? But yes, that's how it was created. So it was human-made, and it was the souls of the... Well, another thing to bring up. You know, how it wouldn't work for 7. Those are the souls of the dead, right? So, answer me this. Souls of the dead return to the life stream. If the life stream has millions of its souls not returning to it, you would think that would be a situation of the life stream like, yo, something is very wrong here just off the rip. Something is just wrong automatically. And then it keeps killing people and taking things down. You would think the life stream would be like, yo, something's wrong here. Us, the planet, is not having a good time, yo. The life stream is being attacked. You know, we're not receiving our souls back to the reforming of it all. But still, Yojimbo can kill them. Yes, Yojimbo can. In the game, most definitely Yojimbo can kill. Gameplay-wise, Yojimbo can kill it in one hit. He can kill everyone in one hit. I have not seen an enemy yet in the game he cannot kill with one go. Most definitely, he can win in one hit. That's the thing. He is the most powerful summon of them all. He is the most powerful Aeon. It's I like it because it's not like, you know, it's a reason to farm money in the game. I like Yojimbo though. I like his character a lot because you pay him enough, he'll give you the tip of the hat, he'll pull out the sword and slices anything in half. Of course, if you just want to beat the final boss, it's the easiest thing in the world. Just make sure it has the zombie effect on it and then just hit it with a phoenix down and you win. Literally, like, the easiest boss in the game is the final boss. Which I always hated that. Like, the Yu Yevon tick thing was, like, the technical final boss, I believe. Like, I understand Jet is meant to be the final boss, but I barely used him. I never used him either. I didn't understand how to use him, is how I should say. When I originally went through the game, my first few playthroughs, I didn't understand Yojimbo. Feels like cheating. It does. I mean, it does, but here's how I rationalize that one for Yojimbo. Is that with Yojimbo, you do have to actually build up his trust. You actually do have to, if you pay him enough money, and the more you use him, and the more you give him money, the more he accepts you. So the more of a better chance you have at getting the one-hit kill from Yojimbo. So you would have to keep using Yojimbo, and you have to keep paying Yojimbo in order for Yojimbo to grant you more favor. To the point where you could just summon him, and you don't even have to pay him, he'll just do it. But you have to really be good friends with Yojimbo. You have to build his trust as the game goes after you unlock him. Yeah, the final boss was super easy. It's same as Final Fantasy 13. Final Fantasy 13 had the exact same thing. Orphan was just a bore at the very end. The final form of Orphan is just a snorefest. I hated fighting the last part of Orphan because they make you think it matters in a gameplay perspective. Story-wise, it makes a lot of sense why it's the final one. It's 100% understandable. But gameplay-wise, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right at all. Because they make it feel like it's a big thing. The final boss of the game, there's a death timer going off. If you can't beat him in this certain amount of time, uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. And it's a different type of enemy. You're not just fighting a rehash of the last two bosses, which the last two forms of the boss. You know, you sit there and you're fighting, but you fight it, and it's easy as hell to beat. So the death timer isn't anything, because even if you're playing the game very slowly, the death timer ain't going to do nothing to you, because it's so easy to beat. It doesn't hit that hard either, so you're just sitting there after going through the harder bosses, and you're like, that's it? In my opinion, Ragnarok should have been the last boss. They should have found a way to have Ragnarok as the final battle, some weird way, and then you can still have the ending you had in 13 with Ragnarok with what it does, but fight Ragnarok, and then, like, I don't know, Ragnarok's not truly defeated. As one last go, it comes back to its mind or something. And you have Fang and Vanille able to hold off and save Cocoon. But you can still fight Ragnarok. You know, I think that would have been a better go-to. On the guide, I have it said that if he doesn't give Zamato, just reload. Basically, you want to give the least money for the most benefit. Exactly. But the more you give him money, like, the least amount or anything, like, you just want to gain his trust as much as you can, too. Like, he has some form of trust to him also, but you can just give him money and, you know, sooner or later he'll say yes. It just brings up your odds with how much he'll give you. Ultimecia is strong. Unalesca was stronger than the final. Yeah, Ultimecia is a strong boss. Unalesca could have been the final boss. You know what? That would have made sense. You could have, here's what, change it around. You fight against Jet, right? You beat Jet. You have the heartwarming moment with Jet and everything, and it's sad and all that good stuff. But then you learn, you know, you basically defeat Jet, that's Sin. You learn that Unalesca's spirit has stepped in, and she's like, no, I'm taking control, or something like, you know what I mean. They can throw the story around however they want. But have Unalesca step in, and it's like, okay, now it's Unalesca. We took on Jet, who gave up his life to be the Aeon and control to be Sin, and now that he's gone, Unalesca's up now. And if we don't defeat Unalesca, Sin's gonna keep running rampant, and Unalesca's in charge, or something like that. And then after you finish off Unalesca, then you can go and flick the tick in the face or something. I don't know, you know. But it just felt like there's no real reason Yu Yevon had to have been what he was. You know, Yu Yevon could have been so much more. But I get it, like, story-wise, it makes sense why he's like that. It's not even Yu Yevon anymore, it's just what Yu Yevon, his spirit and self, has become. Oh yeah, it would have been much better. I think so. I love X, it's my favorite game, and there's almost nothing wrong with X. X is almost close to a perfect game. But if you were to swap around the order and you had Jet, then Yunalesca, then Yevon, or even if you had Jet, then Yevon, then Yunalesca, could have worked out fine. Could have worked out 100% fine. I think Yunalesca could have been a bigger threat with how her story went. Yeah, it's such a waste though. I mean, it is. You know, like, it's still a perfectly great game. It's an amazing game. X is still fantastic. X is still my favorite. It's in my top 10 favorite games of all time. I think it's my second favorite game of all time. If not my second, it's my third, fourth, or fifth. It's in the top 5. I think it's my second. I think it goes Dragon Age Origins, then Final Fantasy X. Then I think it would go Gears of War 2. No, Gears of War 3, then Gears of War 2. And then I think I'd have to see what number 5 is. But, I mean, it's still my second favorite game ever made. Final Fantasy X. It's still amazing. The biggest complaint I would ever give it, though, is the graphics. They made the graphics better in the remaster. They didn't make them better. They made them worse. Those graphics were worse than the remaster. They should have brought back... They should give you the choice to play between the remaster or the original. I don't know if they do or not. I would play the original graphics 110%. They look so much better. Some characters like Kimahri, yes, they look nice for Kimahri. But Titus looks horrendous. Yuna looks bad. Lulu's fine, I guess, but Titus and Yuna look horrible. And they're the main flippin' characters of the game. And you made the remaster make them look horrible. I don't know, that's my own gripe. OMG, F the remaster. Like, here's the thing. I love the gameplay they add to the remaster. I love it. I love the gameplay. I love the extra stuff they make sure you have in the game that you really didn't get in the Intercontinental release outside Japan. I love that we got everything. I love that. But why'd you mess up the faces that bad? I bought it, but man, the faces have no... Exactly! Like, the original one, PS2, it was way ahead of its time for the PS2. You could have put those same graphics on the PS3, I guarantee it would have held up. Early PS3, not later PS3, early PS3. It would have held up fine. People would have still seen it as an instant classic. It would have been just beautiful. I argue if you kept that same style for the PS3, it would have held fine. I argue that. I still have my PS2 version, so much better. Exactly. I don't have the wall of stuff. It's packed over here, but I have the PS2 version. I have the remaster version. I have both. I have a PS2. I have it all. So it's not like I don't have the games to play it on. But, you know, if I had to say which is better, overall better, they're equal. Because, yes, the remaster gives you so much more than what you got for the American release for the PS2. But those graphics really do play a role with the heart of Final Fantasy X. So I would say they're equal. If you want more content, play the remaster. If you want something visually better, play the PS2. My opinion. It depends what you want. If you want to go with the story's fine for both of them. The story's amazing. It's an amazing story. If you want the extra content, go with the remaster. Because you do get a lot more that the international versions did not get, that the Japanese did. But it's up to what you feel. If graphics don't matter to you that much, or the visual look of it, yeah, play the remaster. But if you want to see how it originally felt, PS2. I really do believe the PS2 is what you want to go with. I think even in my 12 Days of Fantasy video I did for that one, I think I even said the remaster. I think I said remastered for it, because I do agree. If you want more bang for your buck, play the remaster. Because you get X2 with it also, when you can just go buy X2 for PS2. And it doesn't look that bad on X2. It's still not the greatest, but it's not that bad for X2. But X, the original, you can tell in a heartbeat so easily. There's no getting around it. It's so easy to tell. It all just falls onto what people want to play. That's what I keep telling myself. Fishing reached level 7. We're getting somewhere. Just gotta catch more of these goddamn carp. Yeah, but that's my... that was a long tangent we went on, but Final Fantasy X. Well, I didn't even turn the light on in here. It's getting dark outside. I should probably get the light on. After this, I'll go turn the light on in here. Or else in about 30 more minutes, I'm going to be playing in the dark. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm going to go get the light on quick. It was bright in here an hour ago because in Minnesota it gets dark really quick in the winter. There. Now if it gets dark, it's not gonna just go... Yeah, but sorry for my long-winded gripe on X. Sorry for that one. I love X a lot, so I always go into just lore tangents and just talk about it a lot, so that's what you got. But yeah, I love X. X is my favorite. If I had to name my second favorite Final Fantasy, that's a hard one because I haven't played all the Final Fantasies. My whole goal of doing this was to go through and play them all and get my experience in and see what I liked. But what would my second favorite Final Fantasy be? What is my second favorite? By what I've played, not by the look of anything, but what I've played. I don't want to say Type 0 because it's most definitely not Type 0. Type 0 is an interesting Final Fantasy. 15 is nice, but it's not my second. No way. The original, when you're playing the best version of the original, it's not bad. Very repetitive and a lot of monster pop-ups, a lot of random encounter, but it for what it is, it's your very basic adventure. My favorite beside 11 would be 8. 8 is very good also. Like I said in my review of it all though, then 9. 9's a very good choice. 9's a very good choice. Oh, here's a good question for you. So it was on the Lo-Fi, the Final Fantasy Lo-Fi channel when I was going through it, and they had a poll question up. And I think you already know what the answer is going to be also, but I'll ask it anyway. Okay, Pep, what do you think? Out of these 4 characters, who has the most tragic story? You ready? Zack, Aerith, Titus, Vivi. I already know what the answer is going to be, but I'll ask you that one anyway. Out of those 4, who do you think has the worst? Who got the worst of it? Who do you think has the most tragic overall story, we should say? Overall story. Because there's some ups and downs to all their stories. It's not like someone's story is just 24/7 horrible. If you had to name out of those 4 who had the most tragic end, who do you think? Zack, Aerith, Titus, and Vivi. So 2 Final Fantasy 7s, a Final Fantasy X, and a Final Fantasy 9. I know my answer. I know exactly what my answer was the moment I saw the name. The moment I saw the one option they mentioned down there, I'm like, oh, in a heartbeat I know who it is. I know exactly who it is. Damn, it's harsh. I think I know who you're going to pick, though, Pep. I think for an overall. Also, I don't know Zack's story much. He was the, well, I think you know who Zack is. But Zack's isn't that bad, honestly. If I would say Vivi or Titus. I went Vivi, and majority of people said Vivi, too. I would say Vivi. Titus, at least, like, yeah, he's a dream. But, I mean, like, at the end of the day, Titus also became a celebrity as a professional athlete. He didn't have a great mother or father growing up. But I mean, at the end of the day, he was still he was a celebrity child. He was taken care of. He had a home. The only downside is he was neglected as a child, but he still grew up to be a celebrity and very popular, you know, and he still, by what we can kind of tell, probably had friends. You know, he found romance with Yuna. He got to go and make amends with his dad. He got to return to being a dream and had a peaceful ending. Yeah, I'm not surprised, lol, right? Yeah, Vivi, I brought it up in my my 12 days video talking about 9. You know, the one downside of 9 is like the chibi art can really be a little jarring at times for some of the subject matter. Some of the subject matter does not call for the chibi art with how dark it gets. Vivi is a very good example of that. His story gets monumentally sad at times, especially with what he is and the reason he exists. And it's just like, I mean, geez. Titus is sad. There's a lot of sad things. I didn't know it until I read a comment about it when I was looking up and just doing some extra research and some video essays. Think about this. Think about this for a moment that I never thought about. Yeah, Jet, in all intents and purposes, for the time that Jet was a father, horrible dad. Neglectful dad, didn't care for his kid, always just was mean to Titus. Jet wasn't a good dad. As a person, after he gets the spear and everything, decent guy after a while. You know, he learns to be a better person. But when you look at him as in the dream world of Xanarkin, horrible guy. Horrible, 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 right? I never thought about this until you actually look into the research and you look at the characters and how the game starts and Titus as a kid and the background story. Titus was also neglected by his mom. Didn't even think about that until later on someone brought it up. He was neglected by both of his parents. Like, it wasn't like after his dad left, his mom was like, oh, it's okay, sweetie, everything's fine, I'll raise you. No, the mom neglected him too, because she only cared about Jet. So she just always spent all her time either depressed or just waiting outside or just ignoring him for Jet. So when Jet left, his mom just didn't care about him. So he was neglected by both of his parents. He basically had to raise himself and become what he was. You know, that gives a lot of credit to Titus too. He became like the best blitzball player period ever because of the fact that he had to do it all by himself. His mom never cared about him. Exactly. His mom never cared. She only cared about Jet. So when Jet left, she was more of just like, okay, whatever. Okay. His dad drank and never cared too. Exactly. Jet was constantly wasted, and he was always out being a celebrity and training, and he never cared about, well, how do I put it? He was a bad dad, but he cared about his kid. Like, if you look at everything after Final Fantasy X, there's a strong inclination that shows like he did care about Titus. He did. You know, so it makes sense for him to become a celebrity to have attention. Exactly, like attention from the people. That makes a lot of sense too. He, you know, by like, it's heavily implied later on, after he leaves, he does care about Titus even when he's a child. But he has no ability, period, to show he cares. Even look at how they talk to each other when they meet again after decades of being gone. Like over a decade and a half later, you have it where they meet, and they just are like, hey. And the only thing that Jet can say to his son is, I see you've grown taller. That's all he's got. You know, he sees his son, who he specifically sent Auron to go get, and then came back as Sin to pick them up. And all he can say to his son, knowing that he's the one he brought to take him out, was, you got taller. You know, he cares, he does, but he has no ability to show it at all, period. And it takes Titus to actually meet him again and figure out everything that he did with Braska and Auron and what he's been talked about by Yuna and all the people and how he's a hero and going through the sphere grids and seeing how he reflected on his family. All of that it takes to get to the very end and for him to be on his deathbed about to die, for him to finally tell his son that he basically loves him. And he didn't even say that correctly, but that's the best he can do. Because then later on you get things outside of the game, like Dissidia and everything, where, no, he openly does show that he cares about Titus. Even to the point where he says screw off to the villains and he joins the heroes for most of the story. Because he's like, no, I'm going to fight and protect my son. I'm not going to do what you guys want to do. My son needs me. You know, if you look at the major battle in the final Dissidia NT, I think it was, everyone's holding back like the major bad guy's attack. So you have like Garland and you have the Hero of Light both holding back the attack, both of them together saving people. The sorceresses are saving people, and you have just Jet by himself with his big ass sword is holding back the attack by himself to protect Titus behind him. He said, I don't care about anyone else, I'm protecting my son. And they weren't even fighting each other in the fight. So he went to his son to go defend him. Yeah, like, Jet openly shows many times he cares about his son. And later on in extended media, Titus does understand that Jet cares. He's just a horrible human being to try and show it. He just cannot show that he loves his son. He can't do it. Like, there's no way he can. He loves Titus. He just can't show it. He'd much rather be a bully than actually love his kid because he doesn't know how. He just literally does not have any form of fatherly instinct, period. There's nothing. He can't do it. You know, like, is he a horrible father? Yes, he's a horrible father. Horrible. But he does love his son. I think that's the best way to put it. And I do like that Titus does finally... And it's not Titus's fault. It's all on Jet. It has nothing to do with Titus in the wrong. Titus isn't in the wrong for any of it. None of it. Not even when he says he hates his dad. He has full right to say that. 100%. Titus is in no wrong, but it takes Titus all the way to fighting basically a giant whale pseudo-god to understand, oh, my dad does love me. He just can't show it because he's a dick. Okay, I get it now. I understand. Okay. Alrighty, I get it. I love you too, Dad. So my impression of Jet is that he was a deeply flawed person who didn't know how to be a father, but by the end of X, he encourages Titus to do what needs to be done. Exactly. And that's also why he brought Titus to the real world, outside of the dream. Because in his mind, he was like, I'm gonna need Titus out here to help me. I think also because he's like, I want to see my son again, but also because it's like, Titus will need to be the one that takes me out. But yeah, he's deeply flawed. He's a very, very, very flawed character. That's why I like him so much. Because off screen, you pick up little tidbits of it as you go, and bonus content. He does actually start to mend his ways and become a better person. It's because of Braska. It's because of Orin. He learns to be like he fixes his flaws. The flaws are still there, but he's doing his best to rectify who he is and what he's done and be a better person. He understands that he can't keep being who he is and just expect the world to give him what he wants anymore. Because when Braska and Orin first meet him, he's a rambling madman that claims he's from another world and was taken by a giant whale while he was out training, and he's locked in a prison cell. Braska and Orin come to pick him up, and they're like, you know what? You're coming with us. Come on. And Orin's just against, like, what the hell is wrong with you, Braska? No. Yeah, through the spheres, you can see how much he cares about. Exactly. He loves his son. He really does love Titus. But he can't do it to his face. He even tries on the spheres to do it often now and then, too. He's like, He's trying, but he just can't do it. You know, it's when it's in the moment, he's actually able, through action. I think that's the best way to put it for Jet. He can only convey his love through action. Terrible person who was forced to grow up for his son. Exactly. And when he was forced to grow up, even he realized, like, yeah, this is what I should have done a long time ago. He even realizes, especially when he learns that he's a dream, he's like, oh, okay. The world's a whole lot bigger than I thought it was. Yeah, that was my favorite part, when basically, because you see it through time. You don't see Orin really react to it that much, but he does learn. He obviously learns about it. It's not like he doesn't know he's a dream by the end of it all. He knows. I mean, heck, he becomes Sin. You're telling me he ain't gonna figure... Well, he has to know. Because he goes and drops Orin off to watch over Titus. And then when Titus is old enough, he brings him and Orin back. So he has to know he's a dream. Because he has to jump over into the dream realm to go and get them to bring them back. So it's not like he doesn't know. It's not like he's like, well, I'm gonna go to Xanarkand. The one that's not ruins. Wonder how that's a thing, how there's two Xanarkands. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry for the random tirades this stream. This is more of just a chill stream before I have to pack up and go on vacation. But I think fishing... We haven't done a fishing stream this year yet, so this is our mini fishing stream. Don't worry, we'll have a proper fishing stream this summer. We always have one. We'll have a proper one coming up, I promise. But yeah. That's why I like Jet so much too. And I'm sorry if I'm repeating things, but, you know. I just like Jet's character. Jet is probably my favorite villain. Well, no, I said Kefka was. Kefka is probably my favorite villain because I don't consider Jet to be a villain. He's an antagonist. He's most definitely an antagonist. He never sat there with the full wanting to be Sin to destroy the world. He fought Sin for all that time until Titus was there to fight him. He held off those inner... The inner ramifications of what Sin is and all the destruction and chaos. He held his mind together for that long to meet his son again and have his final battle. There's kind of like a Xanarkand type location on Final Fantasy XI. The lore behind it is pretty awesome. I'm excited! Jet is a terrible person, a terrible father, but an amazing character. Exactly, he's such a good character. His character is just so good. I will say this. To defend Jet, at the very, very end, when he's about to die, he becomes a decent person. He's like Darth Vader, you know? At the very, very end, he kind of, you know, he becomes better, you know? You don't just sit there, like, how do I put it? Like, throughout the entire time I played Final Fantasy, the original Final Fantasy X, the entire time I played it, after I got out of the beginning of the game, where you have all the flashbacks of, you know, like, oh, look at you, you're crying. And then the kid, you cried. You know, after all of that, after that's done, I do start to like Jet. Because then you learn about Because even I was old enough, because I was really young when I played X. I was like, I don't even think I was in the double digits yet. I was like 8 or 9 maybe. Let's see here, like, yeah, I would have been like 8 or 9 when I first played it. And I remember sitting there, even as a kid, that young, hearing the others talk about how amazing Sir Jet was. You know, Yuna loved him, Waka loved him, Lulu had nothing but praise for him. Like, everyone talked good things about Jet. You know, even me as an 8 or 9-year-old, I was like, okay, obviously Jet is a horrible garbage person, but it's obvious they're talking about the same Jet, because how many people are going to be named Jet, you know? There's something I'm missing as the player that hasn't connected itself to horrible scumbag Jet, to the living, not the living legend, Tet Orin, living legend. But there's something connecting these two that makes it, I don't have the whole picture yet. Even as an 8 or 9-year-old, I understood that. There's something that shows that Jet is a decent human being, even though I know he's a piece of garbage. What is it? And then you learn through the story about how he became a better person, and he cares about his family, and yeah. I've talked enough about X. Let's talk about some other fun things, shall we? What about Final Fantasy 13? Anyone want to talk about 13? Anyone want to talk about 13? Not a lot of people want to talk about 13. If no one wants to talk about 13, I'm okay with that. I can tell you right now, probably my least favorite characters in any Final Fantasy game, for playable characters. The main core cast. You know, your party. The worst party I ever played in a Final Fantasy game most certainly falls to Final Fantasy 13. I can't even think of another Final Fantasy 13 that has a worse party. I can't put 1 and 3 in the run, because they're blank slates that you make. So if the characters are bad, then... So I didn't like Final Fantasy 13 very much. Me neither. I wasn't the biggest fan either. Oh man, over here? Oh, that really slowed up for a moment. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of 13 either. Nope. Is it a bad game? It's not a bad game. It's not. But as a Final Fantasy game, there's a lot of things they're missing. There's a lot of things they tried hitting that didn't work, and a lot of things they should have had that they didn't do. And a lot of tutorial screens. There were a lot of tutorial screens. Yeah, I'll tell you right now. 13 is like... I've played shorter Final Fantasies that are better than 13. There are parts of 13 that's fine, but certain parts of it that don't make sense. Oh, there's a lot of it that doesn't make sense. To this day, if anyone saw the 13 playthrough I did with Sean, that was not my first time ever seeing the ending to 13. That was not the first time. Never. That was the third time I saw the ending. When I first saw the ending to 13, I played all the way through it and it finished. I kid you not. This is not even a joke. You could ask Sean if I had him on the phone, I'd ask him right now. Literally. Quite literally. I called him. I called him at like midnight. Got him on the phone. And called him. And I was like, dude, I am in utter disbelief of what I just watched. It's like, what's going on? I just finished Final Fantasy 13 in my own personal playthrough. Yeah, and what about it? Dude, this ending, I don't know what to say. This was like 10 minutes after the ending and the credits rolled. The credits just finished rolling. I don't have any words. I don't know what to say. Well, say something. I don't know I don't know. I have so many mixes of emotions, I don't know what to say. It was... Oh my gosh. Was it the worst Final Fantasy 13? Was it the worst Final Fantasy ending I ever saw? Yes. Yeah, it was. That was the worst ending to a Final Fantasy 13 I ever saw. Now, again, I haven't played all of them, but by what I've seen so far, it's going to be pretty hard to beat that. That was not a good ending. Oh, it was a bad ending. It wasn't even like, oh, bad for the heroes. No, the story execution was bad. It was really bad. In the end, did they turn to Seath and then back into people? Was that an illusion or the POV character was seeing? It felt like a nonsensical cutscene to me, but that might just be fine. Never played 13, but I never want... You're not missing anything, don't worry. You're not missing a thing. Okay, let me explain the ending of 13, okay? Let me explain how 13 ends, so you can understand the complete lunacy. And again, I had to explain it all to Sean as it was happening. When he first saw it, Sean was pissed off. And I had to explain every step of it all on what was going on. Because he literally sat there just quiet for like 3 minutes trying to figure it out. So what happened was, you get to the ending, okay? Final boss. Second to last boss, I should say. The second stage of the second to last boss. Or the second stage of the last boss when there's 3 forms. I don't know, whatever. You get to it, right? You're fighting and everything. Throughout the entire game, there are multiple characters, multiple creatures, multiple times, multiple moments. You are told your job, your focus is to go and destroy Cocoon. You are going to go and destroy it. It's gone. That is your focus. Literally the Pope. Okay, I can't say his name on the top of my head that well. It's a long one. Not, what is it? The Space Pope. You know him when you see him. He sits there and tells you many times. You learn that he is a Sith. Not a Sith, a Lassie. One of the big gods. He tells you so many times, your literal focus is to go and destroy Cocoon. That is your job. That is what you are doing. I don't know how to be more clear than this. And the whole game, your entire party is like, well, what if we're supposed to just go and save Cocoon? What if our focus is supposed to... Barthandelus. Yes, it's Barthandelus. Thank you. Barthandelus keeps telling you this. And the entire game, everyone, we gotta go save Cocoon. Our job is to defend Cocoon. Our job is to do this for Cocoon. Our job is that for Cocoon. You know? The freaking spaceport, Barthandelus. You are going to destroy it. Lore was amazing. Plot was the least favorite in the series. Exactly. The lore isn't bad. It's not a bad lore. The setting's okay. Literally at one point, you say to Barthandelus' face, you tell him, we're going to save Cocoon. And he gives you the most tired look of just, oh my God. Because even he knows, I have told you this so many times now. At one point, he just goes, whatever. Sure. That's what you think it is. I'll meet you at the final boss. Whatever. And he goes. And your focus is to destroy Orphan. The Orphan's the god that's basically keeping Cocoon afloat and running Cocoon. Okay? Your job is to go and destroy Cocoon, which is to destroy Orphan. What Orphan wants, the main god you learn later on, what Orphan wants at the very end, Orphan wants you to kill it. Orphan wants to die because it wants total destruction of the humans, because the humans and the sub-gods were created by like the overall gods. And what Orphan wants is those gods to return. And Orphan's thought is, okay, if all the humans are killed, it's going to tip off the balance and things are going to be out of whack, and they're going to have to come back to fix what's going on. So Orphan's idea is, I want you to kill me so that I drop Cocoon and everyone dies. That's the plan. It gets better. So Orphan has... You were to go destroy Cocoon, which is destroy Orphan, but you keep on saying we're going there to protect Cocoon by apparently killing Orphan. Okay? Stick with me. You get there, you fight all this stuff, you learn about it, blah, blah, blah. A lot of cutscenes around the final boss. So, while you're fighting, your brand that makes you a Lasith, or a Seath, I'm getting all the names mixed up. You know what I mean. You run out of time. The party runs out of time. Everyone does. Everyone runs out of time, except for Vanille and Fang, because they were awakened at a different time than you were branded, which is weird because theirs were earlier, but the brands affect everyone differently depending on your stress and everything. Sounds so complicated already. It's very complicated. Trust me, we've only scratched the surface. Okay? So, you run out of time, and that's what turns you into a Seath. The zombie crystal version. That's what turns you into that. So, all 4 of the members, Lightning, Snow, Hope, and Saz, all of you become the crystal zombies, basically, okay? And you lose. You lost. You ran out of time, and you're done. That's how it works. Okay? So, you lose, and all that's left is Fang and Vanille. And someone has to become Ragnarok, okay? You have to become Ragnarok in order to kind of like end of times. That's the whole point of Ragnarok. That's why Orphan's like, okay, we'll make someone Ragnarok, whatever. Okay? Again, Orphan wants you to kill it this whole time. You are there fighting it. And Orphan is doing its best to defend itself. Oh, it gets better. So, Fang says, if Vanille is spared and it'll end all of this, I will become Ragnarok. Because originally, Vanille became Ragnarok last time. That was her focus, and that's why she became the good crystal, and she came back and had another focus. So, Fang decides to become Ragnarok, and they constantly keep trying to bring Ragnarok out of her. So they bring it out of her once, and you're basically a mindless beast that's trying to kill. And she lunges as Ragnarok over to Orphan. Orphan goes on to defend itself by putting up shields. Orphan chooses to defend itself and keep itself alive while fighting Ragnarok. Remember, it wants to die, okay? And then when Ragnarok doesn't do it, it transforms back into Fang, okay? And they're like, no, we got to bring you back. So what happens is they keep up. By the way, Vanille's watching all of this, and at one point Fang tries to attack Vanille, but we're getting there, don't worry. So they pick up Fang, and it's like little hands. It holds it up, all right? And they constantly keep killing and reviving her through torture. So they keep on torturing her to death, and then they throw her with like a phoenix down and revive her. And if she doesn't turn back to Ragnarok, they do it again, revive her. And they keep doing this. It's implied that she keeps becoming Ragnarok, and she doesn't get the job done. She goes back, they kill her, bring her back, and they keep doing it, okay? Sitting in her hand, they keep on just torturing her and then throwing her some life. And it's not happening, okay? So finally she goes down. They put her down. And like something happens where she attacks Vanille. A lot goes on. And guess what? Vanille is saved. And you see that the person that saved her, I believe, was Lightning. So what happened was... Oh, don't worry. This is the midway point. What happened is that... What? Here we go. There is a one-sentence clip from one of the index pages inside of like the bestiary stuff that mentions that there's a god of death that exists in the world of Final Fantasy XIII, the universe, okay? You learn later on, I think it's just a snippet from like 2 or 3, it's implied, or at least stated, that god of death looked down at everything and realized, you know what? I like what's going on here. You know what? You 4 that became crystal zombies, there, you're human again. And I put some new focuses on you too. There you go. So they get the fancy looking brands now, the same that Vanille and Fang have, because they became crystal, the good crystal people, and came back for their new focus. You see, they have new focuses now, but again, they don't know what their focus is. But they come in and they throw the normal fire spell. They throw normal fire spell at Barthandelus mixed with Orphan. By the way, they're mixed together, and this hurts him. Now remember, Ragnarok, the being that brings the end of the world, could not break through the shields of Orphan / Barthandelus, but throwing the fire spell, not Fyra or, not like the upgrade fires like fire or anything above, just normal fire, that doesn't do it. That does it. That goes through and defeats it. And you see that the others are brought back, and they're just like, yeah, we don't know what happened. It was all just darkness and nothing, and then here we are. Literally that. And then you get the final battle against Orphan, easy ass fight, and you fight Orphan, okay? Orphan again, I want you to kill me. And I think it's Lightning, it just says, you sound like a baby, just whining constantly. I want this, I want that, I want you to kill me. We're here to save Cocoon. And they kill Orphan. And Orphan goes on, as you would expect, without the thing that's holding up the entire city. It's just a falling giant thing of rock holding everyone, and it's going to crash into the actual planet, and everyone dies. Okay? So, while the world is falling... From the 13's POV, you Deus Ex Machina times 5, and then everyone is saved. That's literally what happened. That is literally what happens. And then later on in 2 or 3, it's like explained, like, oh yeah, they were the ones who saved you. But it's just like, why didn't you just say it in the main game? You could have just explained this better. So, the game's ending. Okay, here comes the more fun. The world is falling. and you're floating, right? Because, you know, the world's heavier than you, so the world's falling faster. So while it's falling, Fang, Snow, Saz, and Hope, I'm sorry, Lightning, Snow, Saz, and Hope are all starting to slowly turn to crystal. The good kind of crystal, which means they completed their focus. So their new focus, their original focus was just kill Orphan, but they didn't do it in time, so they got turned to zombies. Then they were brought back. Their new one was kill Orphan again, but this will save Cocoon. So they came back and did it, and now they're slowly turning into the good crystal people, which means you completed your focus. You're technically still alive. So while they're slowly turning and you see the crystal appearing, over in the distance, Fang and Vanille are floating away into a different direction, and they're like, no, come here, we need to stay together, we need to be safe. And they're just like, you know what? I think this is where we bust out Ragnarok one last time. And they bust out Ragnarok. And they both become Ragnarok, and they fuse together in the same way that their summons, their Aeons look. So it's basically Hecater. I think Hecater is the name of Vanille's with the like 1,000 arms, and Bahamut is Bahamut is the one you have. I think it was Bahamut. Was it? It was Bahamut, I think. Yeah, Bahamut, which is Fangs, and they fuse into this like crazy Ragnarok creature that uses its 1,000 hands to hold up the planet, and there's lava flying everywhere from this thing because it's the bringer of destruction, and all the lava is holding it up, and like a lava geyser flies out from behind it, and it forms like this pillar that holds up the planet among the giant planet, all right? And it looks like basically a golf ball on side of a golf tee, okay? It holds it all up, and they turn into crystal. And the game ends, well, it almost ends. This is close to the ending, where it all goes quiet, right? Everything's done. It's all quiet. You see the planet. You go outside of the planet onto the main planet, and Snow, Lightning, Saz, and I think I said Hope are all crystal people. All right? They're all crystal people because they completed their focus, all right? They're all crystal. So what happens next? They're released from their crystals. They no longer have brands. You can never see Lightning's because hers are right on the chest, right above her breastises. So you never see Lightning's thing. You never see her brand. You see everyone else's, but you don't see hers. And as you're looking at it, she's like, it's not there. And you look at the others and theirs is gone. So you can assume hers is gone too. So you learn that basically since they did all of this and Ragnarok has happened and I guess some form of sight, again, it gets so convoluted. It's just like, okay, you don't have to be Lassie anymore, you know, it's all fixed and all that, you're all good, you know, you don't have to be crystal people anymore either, yeah, it's all fine. And they're like, oh my gosh, we did it, this is so amazing. I don't even remember why that means they don't get it anymore. I think that's explained in like 2 or 3, I think. And they're like, oh my gosh, we did it, we're fine, we're cool. This is all good. And you see in the distance walking towards them, because I guess they were just near for some reason, Saz's son, which was turned into a crystal, his focus was to lead, I forget what his is off the top of my head. His is just to be a child. They gave him a child one. And then Lightning's sister, which is also Snow's fiance, you see them in the distance walking up like, oh, I don't know what happened. Oh, my goodness. And they all go running out like, yay, everything's safe and fine. And Hope's kind of looking around for a moment. And at first you think he's looking for his mom, but his mom's actually dead. And they're all just celebrating. And then the camera pans away and it starts going towards the crystal structure. And it goes to the center where you see the crystallized version of Vanille and Fang in like a yin-yang formation like this together, slowly spinning around inside of it, and their voices are over the end of the game. And it's implied, and I think stated in 2, they're still alive. They're just forever crystal and stuck there for the rest of time, holding everything together. They don't have like a happy ending. It's implied, or like, it's implied in the story that they're together. The 2 girls are together, you know? But it's implied that they're together, and they're like, oh, they're happy they're together and all that, and they'll be watching over the world to make sure it's fine. It's like, no, they are forever crystal people stuck in that position, holding up a planet on a golf ball tee. That's literally how the game ends, and it ends. And then they made a sequel, and then they made Lightning Returns. And I'm like, What the hell did I just see? What the hell is going on? Oh man, I make this call. 1 second. One moment. One sec. Alright, feels like a Disney or Marvel plot in a way. Oh my gosh, it is. And that's not, you need to watch it. You need to just watch the ending. And you sit there just with your mouth open. Like, how many ass pulls did they just pull? Like Vice said, Deus Ex Machina like 5 times. There's like 5 Deus Ex Machinas. But looks like I didn't. No, you didn't. If you played that game all the way through and got that as the ending, I will tell you, like, one of my reactions was, did I really just spend all of my time just for this ending? Like, there's so many ways they could have spun it better, but they didn't. So many different ways they could have explained it all, but they didn't. So many things that they could have executed better, but they didn't. I was in amazement. I was literally sitting there like, I can't believe this. I really cannot believe this. I was lost. I was lost for words. And here's the thing. I went for a completionist route and completed the entire game. I did a 100% of Final Fantasy 13. And that was the ending I got. Oh no. I felt betrayed. Yeah, it is my least favorite Final Fantasy game in the main series. It's like a tier worse than every other Final Fantasy game. Not bad, but not really good by Final Fantasy. Exactly. It's not a bad game. As a game itself, it's not bad. It's alright. It's an okay game. As a Final Fantasy game, what the heck are we doing here? What the heck is going on? Why did we need 2 sequels? What the heck? No. In my opinion, it feels like they tried to make it they made it bitter. They were trying to make it bittersweet. That's what they were trying to do. Because, and get this. Get this. You want another thing that's going to drive you nuts? Get this. Get this. You ready? The ending, when the world is falling and they put the pillars up, I believe they state, like, from the world falling, not the battle that's happening on the planet, because people died on the planet. There's no getting around that. People are dead. But with the planet falling, I think they report in the game, I think they say 0 casualties from the planet falling. And I'm like, what? Not a single person died from another planet about to collide with another planet? You're kidding me. What? Because you watch the game, you play that last level, people are dying left and right. But then I think they said from the collision, no one died. And I'm like, what? No one died from the collision? What about everyone else who's dead? Oh, and then Sid was just worthless in the... Well, Sid was fine. Sid was okay in the game, but it's the fact that, like, who they had leading the resistance group was so dumb. So stupid. They put... Get this. The Pope fakes his death, okay? Barthandelus fakes his death as the Pope. And the rebellion's leader is put in place as the Pope. Just to keep the seat warm. Because he's trying to throw everything into chaos, right? And what's the Space Pope's first go-to at the first major event? I'm just gonna get shot. Come in, shoot me, I don't care, I'm done. Like, what are we doing? Whatever people say Final Fantasy 14 is worse than Final Fantasy 13. Well, Final Fantasy 16, it's hard not to roll my eye. Right. The last Final Fantasy I played was 12. Good choice. Good one. Final Fantasy 16 does a lot of wacky things in terms of gameplay, but Final Fantasy 13 did have a lot of redeeming qualities, in my opinion. Didn't have a lot. No, it did. Exactly. Rest, I couldn't care less. Here's what. And this is coming from my point of view, from someone who played a 100% completionist run. From someone who played the entire game, got every single weapon, I literally have a 100% achievement. And one of those is to get every weapon in the game. That is hard to do. Very. I then put 200 hours into the game. From someone who did every single aspect of the entire game, I can tell you this. I can live with chapter 1 through 10 being 1 through 9 being linear. You know what? I can live with that. 1, 2 through 10. It's 11 when you get open world, I think. I can live with it. You know what? Does it suck kind of at moments? Kinda. But we've had other linear Final Fantasy games. So it's like, you know what? I can see what they want to do. I can forgive that when you get to the chapter 11 out of 13 mark is only halfway through the game because of how much world you have to go through. You know what? I can forgive that because it's like, you know what? They actually gave us open world, even if it's not a big open world. They gave us something, you know? They gave us some actual content to do. For the bonus stuff in the game, you know what? Some of the enemies were a little bit difficult. So I like that there was some bonus content that put my skills to the work. You know what? I can forgive the lead up to the ending, because you know what, there's good graphics in the game, there's good, you know, at times the characters can be okay, at times, you know, I can forgive all that. The moment they gave me one of the worst endings in Final Fantasy, it ruins the whole game. That's why I don't like the game Rage. I don't like Rage because throughout the game it's like, it's an okay game, you get to the very end of the game, ending ruins it all. The ending of a game can ruin the entire game. I can tell you that right now, and that is not an exaggeration. If you have a horrible ending to a game, it can ruin everything you went through. That's my 2 cents. All right, so it's 5 o'clock. I know we didn't do a lot for the stream. What's this? Yeah, I'll message. Yeah, they're talking about my packing stuff for the trip. I do have to get going. Yeah, because now I gotta finish. Literally, I gotta shut everything down so I can get leaving. So, that'll do it. I'm sorry this wasn't the most proactive stream that we normally do, but like I said, as you can see, I'm going. I gotta go and turn my thermostat down, lock all my doors, get everything shut down, get all the, one animal's coming with me for boarding, the other one has to stay here, get them all set. The problem with Final Fantasy XIII's linearity is that there are almost no choices that players make at all for most of the game. Very true. Even 10 gives players plenty of choices throughout the game, but 13, nope. Oh, exactly. Like, not even gameplay where you have to go down a singular path. Oh no, the story is extremely linear. There's like no multiple choice to do anything. X, you can have different character interactions depending on who you talk to more. They don't do that with Final Fantasy 13. If you have this, or you do this event, it can change some stuff. Doesn't do that with 13. Like, the only thing I can think of that changes anything is when you unlock, when you go to the open world and you do the 6 missions that are in the circle, and that summons out, the super leveled Animantoise, I forget the name of off the top of my head. That's like the only time you have any option to do anything in the game that changes anything. I think if I remember right, I think if you do all of the Titan trials, Titan leaves for good. I don't remember though, but that's it. There's nothing else that changes. I forgot. If you do the side mission with the cactars become a thing, but that's about it. There's nothing else. There is literally nothing else that changes it. It's all the exact same game, just with maybe a cactar running around here or there. That's it. There's nothing else. No items make things different. Like the Genshi glove is like the only one I can think of that actually would change gameplay for combat, because you break the limit break. That's it. All right, I do have to go. I have to return some calls for the packing. I get my bug out bag done. I need to go on vacation because I'm ready to put things in the back of my mind for a little while before moving takes place after, because that's going to be busy as ever. Again, sorry it was a little earlier and we're only doing 2 hours. I normally do 5:30 for 3 hours, but I mean, I got people calling. I gotta bounce. I gotta go. I still gotta get down there and get my bag ready, and then tomorrow morning at 9, I gotta go drop off Frank, and then I also have to get to the cities. Then we have to fly out to Florida. We're not getting to Florida by 9 p.m. I've got a lot. But I am bringing a Pokemon Emerald with me. I'm gonna finally finish Pokemon Emerald and get to the Battle Tower, and not the Battle Tower, the Battle League. Good luck, Cody. Enjoy your vacations. It's one vacation, but when I come back, I'm moving, so that one. It's gonna be vacation and then a lot of work. So when you see the streams again, we'll be in a new location. So I'm going to end it here. I want to thank Vice for being in and thank Pep. I'm sorry we didn't do a lot here, but we did some fishing today. So I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank everyone for making things possible. Thank the patrons for making things possible. Enjoy your vacation. Thank you, Vice. And I hope you, Pep, and you, Vice, have good times also throughout the next few weeks. I will see everyone when I come back. Oh, I want to read the last thing Vice put up. Sorry. Summon battles, blitzball, sphere grid, leveling aeons, all that is optional and fun in my opinion, but 13 doesn't have anything. Exactly, it doesn't have any of that. No, you can't even level up your aeons you have in 13. You can't do it. Like, I wish you could. There's a lot of things you can do with a lot of those characters. But anyway, I gotta end it here. I wanted to make sure I got that free advice, though. I always like getting all the messages. And so, thank you everyone for watching. I will see everyone, I want to say in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, I want to say. If not 2 weeks, give it 2.5. And I should be back. I will see everyone when we return. I love you all to death. Thank you all for being amazing people. And I hope everyone has a good time while I'm gone. And if anything crazy happens, send me an SOS. I don't know. I'll see you all in the next stream or anything coming up. I do have videos coming up this week. So we still have content that'll be coming up. See y'all later. Bye-bye.